Welcome to Rugby Uncovered. I'm Paul Rodriguez, and this week we speak to Jess Cooksey at Darlington Moden Park Sharks. Welcome to the show, Jess.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's great to have you on. It's a real pleasure. Could you tell us a bit about how you got into rugby?
Of course. So I started off playing like a lot of girls when I was young, about 7. My brother played, my dad coached, mum worked for the club. So it was a very natural progression. Started off at Winscombe RSC, just up the road from my local village, and then went on to Hartbury College, where I was for 2 years and had an amazing experience there. Couldn't even comprehend the places I'd go or who I'd be playing against. I learned so much at Hartbury. And then I've now moved to Durham University, where I'm currently in my second year of study.
That's brilliant. Attitudes have changed a lot to rugby over the years, and what we're finding is there's a greater acceptance of women's rugby, but we still want to get the word out because obviously there's more to do in that regard. How do you find it when you tell people that you play rugby? Are they surprised? What sort of reactions do you get?
I do get a lot of surprises actually. I get a lot of, do you play netball because I'm quite tall, or hockey quite a lot. But it's all good things. Like, people usually have like lovely things to say, and they're very supportive. But yeah, I think it's just a bit of a shock sometimes when people realise how professional it is these days and how high up in the Premiership we can be. And I think some people just aren't used to it yet.
Jess, hi. I'm assuming that you were a talented all-round sportswoman when you were younger, but you made the decision to opt for rugby at a very early stage by what you were saying.
Yeah, so I was just one of the sporty kids in school, just got involved in anything that I could, hockey, netball, long distance running, bit of everything. And then I actually remember when I was about 8 or 9, I remember crying to my dad and being like, I don't want to do rugby, like, don't make me go. Like, I was just bawling my eyes out on a Sunday just for like a half an hour training session. But then luckily in middle school I got back into it, and it was just all around me. I couldn't get away from it. So I just jumped straight back into it and haven't really looked back since, which is great. Yeah.
What is the difference now from your perspective in the game in 2020, the women's game in 2020, compared with when you started, when you were a small girl?
From what I can remember, watching on TV the game, it's quickened up so much. The speed of the game, the intensity, even the discipline. You can just see it from the girls, the way it's been coached. And I know from training as well, like everything is just done with 100% work rate, 100% clarity. And it's just, I feel like the work ethic is just taken up to a new level.
We've noticed a big difference even in a year in the difference in strength and conditioning and fitness and attitude. It's a very, very quickly developing game, and we applaud that.
1,000,000%, especially from being in the setup of England from quite a young age. I've really seen the progression between under 18s to under 20s, even under 15s, like at divisional level, and the S&C level, like you said, fitness, cardio, everything. It just takes a step up each time you go up the ladder. So yeah, really positive.
All the women we talk to have unfeasibly busy weeks where there aren't enough hours in the day to do it, what you guys do. You're studying, you're also training 3 or 4 times a week, you're playing on weekends. What is a typical week for you? We're still trying to get our heads around it.
Yeah, so I'm doing a BSc sports science degree at Durham University, so it's quite a lot of contact hours, but it's mainly the high load of rugby that really blocks up the week. I think I worked out and it's about 11 to 12 hours in a busy week. So it is kind of chaotic. In my first year, I definitely struggled a little bit more with it because it was so new. I couldn't get my head around. It was either going amazingly and I was 100% working really hard, or I was burnt out, overwhelmed, and just didn't know how to handle stuff. And it's not really an in-between, but it's just how you manage it and get used to it, really.
My last question, and this is what has intrigued me since the spring, the law changes. Have they been difficult to adapt to, getting it into your head, the changes in the rules?
For me personally, I've really enjoyed it. If anything, it's sped up the game. I'm not a forward and I'm not involved in the set piece at scrum or line out. So the fact that the scrums have been taken out of it hasn't really affected me too much. I think there just needs to be a bit more knowledge about free kicks and when and where and when to take them quickly, which I think all the girls will learn with just experience. But personally for me, it hasn't made too much of a difference. If anything, we just get more time on the ball. So yeah, positive.
So you make it sound as if you quite welcome the new laws.
Yeah, I do quite like them. Yeah, nothing to complain.
Yeah. Well, you've got Exeter visiting you this weekend. We wish you all the best, and thank you so much for being on the show.
Amazing, thank you.
And thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.